Americans went on a spending spree last year. For the first time in history, we now owe more than $1 trillion in credit cards.
Yeah, not my credit card.
No, not mine either.
For sure. Local financial professional Brett Allen from wealthwisconsin.com is here with us for 4 tips on paying off your debt. If you've got $1 trillion in credit card debt, you're in trouble.
It's a lot.
That's bottom line.
It's one of those things. The average household has $8,600 in debt, and that can be tough to pay off. 60% of people surveyed said they'd rather put money, obviously, in their 401ks and savings accounts, but they have this debt looming over them. So how do you get it paid off?
Yeah.
We have a couple steps today on how to do that and get started.
Okay,
so number one
first
is going to take inventory. So you need to know where your debt is first. So we have a debt worksheet on our website, wealthwisconsin.com, and you can list all the different debts that you have. That's really going to help you figure out which one should I pay off first. Number 2 is looking at your interest rate. So a lot of times the average APR right now is 16%.
Yeah. Or even higher.
Even higher sometimes, yeah. So what you can do is do a debt transfer. A lot of these credit card companies have 0 interest for 12 months. You can do a debt transfer over to these cards, and then you're not going to have to worry about it too much. The other thing you can do is call the credit card company and just ask them to lower the interest rate. You'd be surprised how many will. They want you to pay that debt off as fast as possible. Sometimes they're willing to lower the rates a little bit.
And they want to keep you as a customer so that you can keep, I hate to say it, almost continue to be in debt with them.
Yeah.
But what else can one do? Because it seems like a lot of what you're saying hasn't changed over the years.
Right. This one may sound simple, but spend less than what's coming in, right? And that really comes down to a budget. Putting a budget worksheet together and knowing exactly what's going out every month, where you can make cuts so that you can use that money to pay that debt off faster.
What's more important, if you have money in your savings account and you have a credit card debt, is it more important to pay off the credit card debt or because everybody always says keep that money in your savings account just in case you lose your job or what?
It's a balancing act. I think you should have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses always in a savings account. That way, if something does happen with your job, you have that backup just in case. But the same thing with the 401k. You want to make sure that you're putting money into the 401k all the while paying off this debt, and that can be a balancing act as well. So you just want to make sure with a retirement plan that you're putting in at least what the employer matches. That's free money, so take advantage of that, and then try to pay off the debt as fast as possible.
And it really comes down to discipline.
Right.
At some point you got to say, I got to discipline myself.
And that's what number 4 is. So the debt snowball, we've talked about it in the past, but the debt snowball is taking all the different debts that you have and taking the lowest debt and putting as much as you can towards that lowest debt, all the while you're paying the minimum balance on everything else. Once you get that lowest paid off, you move to the next lowest and do the same thing, and it just creates that momentum for yourself, that snowball over time. That's the quickest way to pay it.
And paying it all off brings your credit score up.
That's right. Absolutely.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Well, if you've got a question for our experts, just email them at asktheexpert@tmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail at the number 967-5253.